YouTube is Upside DIY. So right here I've got most of my bicycles in the shade. There's going to be a few more bicycles, but what I'm doing is just actually I gotta match up these rims and then so I'm gonna leave this orange out for the cats to look for it. But yeah, so right here is pretty much my sifter operation. What I do is all these potters that overgrow with grass, they get a little tight and things. I could depending if the plant's alive or dead. Most of the time like this they're dead, but I put them in this metal wash basin. There's holes at the bottom, and I just start compacting it or start hitting these things. And also, to get these out of these things, you gotta lay it down and hit it, lay it, rotate it, hit it, and then you should be able to take out whatever's in there. I did these with the pond, pieces with the pond, or just soaked it in water and just hit the stuff around. But I'm just hoping these things just plunk down and settle, and then after this stuff starts to dry, I can start sifting out larger rocks, even grass that won't go through the sifter. So this is basically a manual sifter, and it pretty much takes care of most of those ideas. And sometimes I get some worms inside some of these pots. Like, even with all these pots, I might re-sift them and basically I'm gonna feed the worms a few pieces of this orange, and then so yeah, I just collect what I can, even some of the roots. So I got some worms in there. I had one of the fish passed away from all the cleaning that I've been doing, so there were some fish in here. They did pretty good getting rid of the mosquitoes and things. Maybe I crushed it or something, I'm not too sure what really happened to it, but it happens. Too bad. So if you want to see the dead fish, there it is. So yeah, this is my sifters, and I'm still having to manage to figure out, just giving these a little bit more water when I can. So I made one video, and then it didn't turn out that great. So hopefully this one becomes pretty good. I got this so I could propagate, just use cuttings. I got this ready and the other thing ready. So yeah, basically I get to take apart a lot of these bikes. I might cut them up. I might save some of these parts, save some of the frames and stuff that are light and try to rebuild them. I try to, so just to go over what this video is pretty much is, just the bike area and this actual sifter that really tries to reuse a lot of the soil and things. I'm letting my backyard kind of grow out, and it's going to just it's just going to be a lot of work after things, but I'm just going to let it grow out for now, and then plan to try to grass things. It's actually providing a lot of good hiding places for insects and things, but it's only May, and by June and September all this is going to be pretty dried up, and then I could just take out what I can and have some space for what I really want to grow and things. But for now I'm just trying to just stay on this video. It's just mainly the sifter, just sifting out why I'm using the sifter. I have this pan to pretty much break down a lot of the dirt and a lot of the roots, and then I can sift out the roots and things. And then I've got a pretty much a worm farm, so all my worms that I can find, I just throw them in there. So with all that stuff in the back, I'm actually going to resort them out towards the front and just throw them away. Here's my avocado tree. It looks a little dry, so I'm going to be watering that pretty soon. But before there was only 2 leaves, but now some more leaves are growing. So right here I've got my DIY straight edge for the acrylic board. This is more than 35 inches that I need. This piece on top, I screwed it in with 5 nails, and it's pretty centered. And I've got another board that I didn't remove the drawer railings. It's just, I can. The thing is, I'm going to put the piece, the cover right there, and it's going to have a straight angle. So a straight right angle, and then I'm going to put this on top of that to keep it flat and straight. Sure, this thing's a little bit warped and everything, but you know, and I'm going to use this die grinder that I added the extra shield. It's more like a guide, but this shield actually rubs up against this side, better at this side because it's more straight. So it's going to be holding down the piece, and then with the special guide that I extended, it's going to try to help me make a straight cut. Because when I lift up the grinder for this part of the tool, I might go crooked and things, so I added this extra length of just to help me guide from going crooked. So I've been working on this 55 gallon. I double resealed it just so I could be more confident. I resealed it, or I just added some more silicone. It was pretty much straightened out before things started clearing, so it's a really good thick bead. So I sealed it once. It felt a little soft and everything during usage, you know. So I double resealed it. The silicone would get a little bit softer, and I wasn't sure which kind of silicone, and I had a place that was already doubled, and it felt a little harder and things in a certain area. So I just basically, you know, went over how to, you know, pretty much the tools, bottle caps, a popsicle stick, and something to scrape the stuff off, and then something extra to really use up the leftovers. And so I'm setting up this 55 gallon aquarium, and I even started siliconing this HOB filter. It's going to need a back spacer because it's not a real snug fit or anything. So I got to you know, put something towards the back, maybe add some tapes to really hold it, and then it should be able to lean against the aquarium. And I just sealed it just because I wanted more of a permanent filter system. You can remove the nozzle and things, and when this disconnects, the filter totally just doesn't work as well. But the thing is, by gluing it and you know, pushing down on some of the adding some more silicone and really sealing this up, this filter is going to be ready. And I made that straight jig here's a straight jig for like a 10 and a 20 gallon, just for smaller pieces. But this aquarium cover piece was a little too big for that jig. That's why I made the other one. And it's pretty much the same thing, something to give it a straight, you know, a straight fit. And then I just push it towards the edge, and then I double checked the line. The thing is, sometimes when you use tape, it might go crooked, but at least you know, now I know this point right here and this point are actually the same distance. And I'm going to have to really straighten that out using, you know, a tape measure with, you know, and then really getting this cut. And then I'm going to clean off all the excess, do what I can, you know, grinding off whatever I can, and then, you know, just getting it ready to actually, this silicone is going to dry up in a week or two, so just getting it ready, to actually go, you know, and that's going to be fixed up. So I'm just getting this aquarium ready to be set up, filled up, and actually, you know, I have buckets right there, so if I did have to, you know, and actually reuse some of the water and then start working on the outdoor pond stuff. The stuff indoor, like these aquariums and things, I really don't want them indoor. There's too much of, you know, a pain if things aren't working that great, or, you know, if they start to leak, basically, or, you know, taking up a lot of space. So, you know, I'm just having fun for what it is now, but you know, there's so many much cooler, just like with these 4 goldfish right here, they're eating jackfruit. This water's, you know, has super filtering power, a 60 gallon and a 10 gallon filter on a 20 gallon tank. So this is actually getting so much clearer, just you know, from what it was. So I can just look at the water flow and you know, adjust it to give it more or less. This one, I just lift up the filter and make sure the water doesn't overflow that area, and the water doesn't flow over this. And once it doesn't overflow, it's going to actually have to run through these filters and things. And having a molecular sugar actually sticks, like jackfruit, it actually sticks to a lot of debris and dust and things within the water. It builds up a little bit more of a you know, a possible combination to get water at least somewhat decent. I still have to look up on quite a lot of things, whereas the plants would actually clear up a lot of this water, just because on the molecular level, you know, they were just made to clean up just dirty water sometimes. You know, also adding you know, a certain amount of fish and stuff, they tend to grow out and live longer. But with a lot of these aquariums that I have, I just enjoy just, you know, setting them up just like this 55 gallon that you know, I can show you the filter. There's a light underneath there. You know, I need an air pump. An air pump will help, but you know, it's got a filter, so it doesn't really need an air pump. But there's and then an aquarium cover and a light is a decent setup. Is you know, it's just what I could do with the supplies that I have, and you know, and then just going from there. So these tanks look pretty cool. You know, I keep them bare bottom because they're they stay a lot cleaner than having rocks and sand and gravel. But the plants and things, you know, the fake plants actually give the aquarium a little bit more of a natural look. But you know, just doing bare bottoms for now. We did the bare bottom versus sand, and you know, the sand and stuff does add a lot of different elements inside of the water. So thanks for watching YouTube. I did a lot of pickups, free pickups, Tupperware. I even got this thing with some laundry bags in it and some party supplies. See you guys on the next Upside DIY. Here's a lot of fabric and stuff and some more planters, propagating planters. Have a good one. Bye.